Welcome to another Derek Does. Today, we're going to do this. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Derek Does. Thanks for joining me. If you're new here, please subscribe. I think you're going to find something that I've done that interests you, and I'm going to have new stuff all the time. Stuff I find, stuff that I already have, and just interesting things that pop up. Today is one of those interesting things that popped up. Now, this is a Panasonic. Now, Panasonic, if you don't know, they've made electronics. It's a Japanese company. They've made electronics for, well, not forever, but in the 70s and 80s, I would say Panasonic was leading everybody hands and down with design. They had these cool ball radios, and they made this a space age looking stereo, and they have like telephones that there's check out the Panasonics from the 70s and the 80s, and they're just really awesome stuff. They're not really like that it's the most technical thing, just the design that they went through to do stuff. And this is one of those things. This is called a BiSider. I was at the thrift store and I see this giant thing, which is, it's pretty heavy, and I saw this Panasonic and I thought, well, that's kind of, I've never seen this before. And I looked at it and I go, oh my gosh, this is really neat. And I bought it. This is from 1982, from September 1982, is actually dated on the back. I've been trying to find some literature of this, and I haven't yet, but this is a AM, FM, radio, clock, and a television, all in one. It weighs probably 6 pounds, but if you look, it has this wood grain on the side. I'll do a close-up and you can check all the features on it. So you have
child care,
a radio,
trouble finding,
you have a clock, but let's say I don't want to listen to the radio. It's AM FM, by the way. I don't want to listen to the radio. I want to watch television. You just pull this down and a TV pops up. Now it should pop up here in a second. Remember, this is an old tube, so it takes a minute for the tube to click on. Oh, I got to turn it on too. So now it'll come up. Any minute there. There it goes. Now, unfortunately, with the new HD signals and everything, you have to have the converter to convert an SD signal to an HD signal to watch television. But it's got a television built into it, and it has the VHF, and the UHF. So you can switch those back and forth. I thought it'd be really cool to get, and I'll turn that down. I thought it'd be really cool to get an old console, like an old Atari or something, and hook it up to this. And then you could play your Atari through this. Wouldn't that be awesome? But so it's a television, and it's got this incredibly weighted mechanism that you can just take your thumb and it goes right back up. There is no, it's like perfectly balanced. Again, Panasonic back then, design was just crazy. So you can see it's pretty, no, it's not thin, but it's not huge. This would be like on your, maybe your bedside table or something like that, and as you're sitting there and you're tired of looking at magazines or reading or listening to the radio, you just push it down and you watch television. So I'll do some close-ups of this thing. This thing is just, I think it's cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might put this up on derekdoes.com. So if you're interested in this, keep going there, because this may show up there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's just really cool, and I bet there's somebody out there that's like, oh, I could really use that. This is the thing you could really use. It's a Panasonic, again, called a BiSider, and it's an AM FM clock, and it's also a television, a 4-inch television, black and white. So I'll do some close-ups of this thing, and you can check it out, and you can say, I think I need that. If you ever find one of these, pick it up. I mean, no matter what, just pick it up, because obviously the guy who bought this probably bought it in 1982, and I bet you this thing cost $400 back then, maybe even more, because back then that's what, a television in a thing, small television like that. I mean, watch the old Prices Right, and you'll see the prices of these old electronics are very expensive, especially for back then from the early 80s. So let's do some close-ups, and you can see how cool this thing really is. So here it is. You can see this is all metal. This is, of course, the kind of just the silver plastic, and then it has this wood grain. It's obviously not real wood, but it's a wood grain. You know, they went out of their way to make this thing. So you have your clock, and you have your settings here, so you can adjust the time. You just push down the button, go fast, or you can go slow. So you can adjust your time right here. You have your Panasonic, and down here you have your TV, AM, FM, clock, radio, and this is for your actual AM, FM radio for your slider. Now the on is here, and your volume's here, AM, FM, and then you have audio and manual. Bright, this is actually for your television, and then you also have here, let's turn it this way. So you have earphones if you don't want to disturb anybody. And here you can actually, if there's a little screw in there, you can adjust your V-hold and your height. And then you also have here brightness and V-hold and contrast. So you have all these features on it, which are really nice. Well, let's go back to the radio. So all you have to do is just
Crowers, Kiowa,
turn it like
Brent.
that. And you want to adjust it. Just move it along there, and you can get whatever you want. Now, what happens if you don't have a good signal? Well, hidden right here, put your thumbnail in there, there's an antenna. That can come out, and then you got rabbit ears that slide out pretty far, I mean like 3 feet or so. And there you can see, do not remove the screws. So you can use that for the television, or you could use it for the radio, and then when you don't want to see it, because this is kind of, I guess, an eyesore, you go like that, and it's gone. Pretty cool. Now, when we get to the television, again, you just slightly push it down, and you can see there's a little cantilever mechanism in here that's perfectly balanced, and then has these little pads that it will go onto, so it doesn't hurt the bottom of it. It comes down, and now it's this nice little television, and then you just turn it on there. You can see it actually says BiSider. I think I said slider, but it's actually BiSider. Comes up, you got your volume, and then here you have your actual tune, so you can change. If we were actually getting a signal, you could actually see it, but unfortunately we don't. But you can see there's actually something there. There is no television signal anymore in America. And then you turn that off, and I'll show you. And your speaker is still up here, so you never lose the volume. Right here, you have your external antenna. If you needed to plug that in, you could. Spin that around. And then you have your Panasonic. This is, I'm sure, for servicing of some type. And then here you can see September 1982 with all the Panasonic information on volts and wattage and all that stuff. And it's even UL listed. And then on the bottom, there you have the chassis and all that stuff that old stuff like that would have with it. I don't think they really do much of that anymore today. But this, maybe you can just spin that. It's just a really cool thing. I really love it. I just love that it does this. I wish I could watch television. That would have been really cool, but unfortunately you can't. But without the adapter. If you get the adapter, you can. Because you could put that in the external antenna, I believe, and then it would convert it, and then you could see it. Pretty cool, huh? So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Derek Does. This is, again, the 1982 from September. They had different years. I saw online that some people have them from July and other months. So they actually is kind of dated per month and year. I don't know if they made them in 83, but they definitely made them in 82. So if you like this sort of content, please subscribe. And if you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. I hope I'm bringing enough interesting things that you like that. Let me know down below in the comments. And And if you're interested in this, check out derekdoes.com or leave me a comment and I'll throw it up on derekdoes.com so you can buy that if you are so interested in this. So I will see you on the next Derek Does.